Okay, I want to talk about um, the dichotomy between hitting a home run in your efforts versus a, or a better analogy is, do you want to be somebody who's consistent, somebody who is constantly kind of like a flame, got a candle? Do you want to be somebody who is consistent, or do you want to be you want to be like the flame, or do you want to be like the firework, like that is this explosive version of effort? And I feel like in a perfect balance it can be both, but I want to challenge you to be somebody who is steady and consistent in your efforts. And this is coming from somebody who within myself, who hasn't really done well within that across my life. I feel like what I've done really well in my life is I've gotten a lot of things and goals and accomplishments within sports done, but it's been through sprinting. And there's this shift that happens when you can go from being somebody who is a like having a sprinter's mindset versus having an endurance mindset. You have to have both. You have to be able to be striving, and you also have to be able to maintain longevity within what you're doing. And I feel like that's the piece that most people miss out on and don't see and don't get to do is this piece of consistency and longevity over the long haul. So my challenge for you is, as you pursue what you do, be somebody who is consistent and has like a steady burn. Be move towards your goals in a steady, constant, present, always there way that will serve you more than the yo-yo of big effort, big effort, big effort, and then burnout, and then recharge, and then big effort and big effort and big effort, burnout, recharge. So you want to find a way to be the person who is basically you're always making progress. You're always making forward momentum towards what you're aiming at, towards your vision, towards your goals, towards the person that you want to be. But it's in doing that consistently and doing that in a steady way, right? You truly want to be moving in a steady, consistent way that is really sustainable. One thing I've always, like I'm alluding to, one thing that I've done really well is work in sprints to make sure I get to where I want to be. But I'll tell you right now, if you're consistent and you burn in a steady way and you move in a more consistent light, you will win over the long haul. If you do daily, like I would rather you do four things that are really good for you that are habit related that are moving you towards the person that you want to be over doing 100 of them in one day. This isn't like a crazy new concept, but this is something that you can take and apply to yourself and say, how can you be more of a slow burner in regards to the achievement of where you want to be, right? Because sometimes you don't even know the how that is gonna come to you as you move towards your goal, but you do know that you want to achieve the goal, right? And sometimes the how reveals itself as you're on the path. So be somebody who is not only on path, but be somebody who is constantly moving towards the goal. Like there's the story of the tortoise and the hare. And in that fable, the tortoise wins. And a more nuanced way of looking at this is I feel like you can have both. I feel like in certain seasons of life, you can be the hare, and in certain seasons of life, you can be the tortoise. But the most important thing is that you're never stop, never your forward momentum is always taking you towards the goal. You're always moving towards the person you want to be, the goals that you have, the things that you want to do, the type of person that you want to be. All of that starts with your habits and it starts with your willingness to just stay in the game. I recorded a video recently about longevity wins. And what that is, that's that concept of most people just leave the game too early. Most people just cash out because it's too hard, because they can't see a way through, because they're not willing to take that next step. And for you, my challenge for you is to just stay in the game. Stay in the game. Stay in the game long enough to where you can actually see the results of what you're working towards. That the person that you want to become is inevitable. Be a person who is inevitable with who you are and where you're going. Be the person who just doesn't leave the game. And if you're able to do that, you will arrive. You will arrive at your ultimate vision. You will arrive where you're heading. It's just a matter of time, right? And people are too impatient. People are too impatient. One thing that I've done and that I could even be better at now is I've deleted all social media off my phone. And even today, I just deleted YouTube off my phone because I noticed myself scrolling, right? And I feel like the more you can just be okay with boredom, the more you can be okay with just staying the course, the more that just being in alignment with where you're going gives you that satisfaction and that dopamine hit over these big things, the better you will be long term, right? You achieving that goal or you actually getting there is going to come from you believing enough in yourself and believing enough in the process. So, right, it's how to, and I'm somebody who I'm the first to admit this. I want to score the goal. I want to win. I want to win big and I want other people to see me win. I want the validation. I want all those things. I'm a competitor, right? So those things are really important to me. And within that, I feel like there's this constant need of a result soon. And what you have to work on within yourself is realizing that the inputs that you put in every day may not reach a result today. But what you're doing is you're placing a vote of confidence in the type of person you're becoming and the results that you want by the efforts that you make in today. Drinking your water. It's all the basics. And it's the basics and then it's enjoying the process. And that's what I'm learning is how can I become more process oriented? How can I become more in love with just the doing the things daily that I know are helping me long term? And that's a hard thing to do all the time when you're somebody who's competitive and you want a result and you want to know now and you want all the things. And that's been me like my whole life is even during my undergraduate degree in college, I said, I want to be done and I want to make money and I want to just not be in school. So like it really took away from my senior year because I was just really consumed with what I could gain and how quick that I could gain it over the fact that like I'm only in my undergrad once in my life and should probably be enjoying it and leaning into that more. So within all this, I say all this because you have this beautiful opportunity to create a life of process, create a life of process and create a life of depth and to create a life that you love and is dictated by you always being in forward motion towards your goal, but you never quitting on that. I feel like that's the biggest thing that I've had to work through in a lot of my internal mental work, and I still have to do, is to realize that longevity wins, that if you just stay in the game, if you keep pursuing what you want and you do the right things, you're gonna arrive. You're gonna get a result. It just might not be today. It might not be next week. It might not be next month. It might not even be this year. But you have to stay the course. You have to stay consistent. And you have to be willing to effort. You have to be willing to stay in the game and make the small things fun. Make the game fun for you, make the game achievable for you, and make it something that is enjoyable for everybody. Right? Don't be somebody who makes it about yourself. Be somebody who's a contributor. And so I say all this because I want you to win in the end. And that's going to take you having a more disciplined mindset around being patient and loving this life and loving the things that you do on a daily basis that help you long term get to where you want to be. So that's my challenge for you today. Lean into the process, lean into the long game, lean into the discipline, lean into the things, doing the things today, habits wise, that are going to help you long term.